Hey.
All right. Hi everyone. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna be really quick, just gonna give you guys a couple of important updates. And some of this information is kind of, I don't have specific dates yet, so just stay posted, stay tuned for that. But we are switching our payroll system. So our HRIS system, we are moving from ADP to a system called Paycor. So that change is going to happen the middle of October. So when you get your check, I don't have my calendar in front of me, but the middle of October, you will start clocking in and out using that system. So it's just around the corner. We are gonna have to switch out time clocks. Also on your phones, we're no longer gonna be using the ADP app, we would be using the Paycor app. So more information to come about all of those changes. As far as for you, it's just a matter of changing to look at a new app on your phone. If you go to the time clock, we'll have to program everybody into the time clock, because there will be a new time clock to punch in and out of from that. One of the things that I ask everybody to do, everybody in this room, I need you to look at your ADP, that current ADP system now, and review all of your information. Look at your address, your telephone number, your email address, as well as your emergency contacts. Make sure all of that information is correct. If it is not correct, please let me know. You can send me an email. You can tell Dawn, to give Dawn the information to let me know, because right now we have to put the information in both systems. So I actually physically need that information, so that way I can make sure it gets into Paycor as well as the current system. So any questions about that? So please review all of that information to make sure it's update and it's current. A lot of times people change telephone numbers or we move, especially some of our employees that have been here for a long time and don't always look at that information, because that affects your tax information, your local tax. It also affects any mail, your W-2, any of that information. So really make sure that the address is correct, and then as well as your emergency contact information. So mobile punches, those will be activated just like they were in ADP. You're still gonna be able to do that in Paycor. Same parameters, you have to be inside the building to mobile punch. You can't punch from your cars, any of that kind of stuff. They actually have a tighter network, it's called geofencing, but tighter, so we'll be able to determine exact spots where people can clock in and out. So you do have to be in the building. It doesn't mean come in the building, use your app, clock in, and then go back out to your car to park it, grab your things, any of that stuff. It's when you clock in, you need to be ready to start your shift, start working. Next little thing is benefits. So we are obviously Humana for our employee benefits. Humana is leaving the market on the end of December. They're no longer going to offer commercial health insurance. So we have to switch plans. We are still looking for the best option. It's out to different carriers for pricing, for network options, all of those things. So just want to let you know we are actively looking at that, so there'll be more to come with that information. We are going to be doing open enrollment in November, probably the beginning part of November, and we are going to have a benefits team. Several individuals are going to be on site to help enroll everybody, and as well as ask questions. If you guys have any questions about the plan, the carrier, any of those things, they're going to be on site to answer any of those questions for you. We're also going to have our 401k team. That's not changing, but they're going to be on site if you have any questions about that. And so just tentatively, it's going to be in November, so that's when open enrollment's going to come out. And that's when you guys get all your information anyways. I just know with Humana leaving the market, people have been a little bit nervous about what's going to happen. So I just want to let you guys know. And then also, as you, some of you saw, we're having a job fair outside today, having people come. I always like to remind everyone, if you refer somebody to come work at Nazareth Home, whether it's Clifton campus or Highlands campus, make sure you remind them to indicate that you referred them to a position within Nazareth Home. Even if it's a PRN position, we still want to capture that, regardless of which campus it is, and you guys will still be awarded the referral bonus. So just make sure if you refer someone, have them, you know, indicated on their application or in their interview. So then that way you guys can get your bonus for that. But that's all I have. If you have any questions, my office is upstairs, but you can always email me, shoot me a text and say, hey, I have a quick question. Can you call me? And I'd be happy to do so. All right, thank you. Yes.
I'm listening very closely, and I'm not sure that you said you'll only get one W-2.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And
yes,
I know
yes, I did the other one. Yes, I forgot to mention that. So you will only receive one W-2 this year. So even though we're switching from ADP to Paycor, all of your information is going over to that system. So you will still only just get the one W-2. So at the end of the year, all of your wages will be the same. It'll all flow over to the new payroll system. All of your paid time off, all of those hours will be switched and roll over to the new system as well. So, and stay tuned, because we're going to have a bunch of things. This system, we have the ability to have more documents in there. There's a lot of options. So once we get up and rolling, I'll probably do another little informational session for you to kind of navigate the new Paycor system and what it can do. So thank you. I forgot about that. Thank you. It wasn't on this note sheet.
I know it appears often I'm not paying attention, but trust me, I am.
Right. Hello, I'm Carrie Burns. I'm the director of the Nazareth Homes Foundation, for those of you who I'm not as familiar with. And I just wanted to take a quick minute to give you an update on the foundation and what we are doing. As you know, we raise funds for lots of things around here. That support both the employees here as well as the elders. But the one update that I want to give you is the fund that is most near and dear to all of our hearts, and that is the one that supports us as employees. And it is the Sandra King Excellence in Education Fund. So first of all, congratulations to those scholarship award winners. I know V and Shay from this campus are not in here, but hopefully you have celebrated them, and thank you all for those of you who helped celebrate that special award for them. The next deadline is fast approaching. It is October 1st, which is right around the corner. So part of the changes that we were able to make with the fund is that it's being awarded twice a year. So it was awarded in August, and it will be awarded again in November. So encourage folks to apply. I encourage you to apply. All of the information that you need is on the website to check eligibility and all that good stuff. And even folks who applied for that first round and received, you can apply again. Our goal is to give away more money and give it away more often. So that's that. The other part of the scholarship fund that I want to say thank you is that the reason that we have this fund is because this was before I was here. You as employees were contributing to this fund via payroll deduction and other fundraisers that we would have for it. And since we started it in 2020, over $20,000 has been raised. And so the great part about that is it gives me something to tell other donors when I'm out in the community, when we're talking about Give for Good, other ways that we raise money for this, they are encouraged and inspired by your participation in the fund. So thank you. Whether it's $1 that you give from your paycheck or whether it's a lot more, it matters. So you will have a chance to do that again, just like Aaron was talking about with the new system. We're going to have a way to do payroll deduction through that system. I don't know exactly what it looks like right now, but it'll happen. And so at that benefits information sort of fair that Aaron alluded to, I will be there with information about it as well as incentives. So I will look forward to that. And so yeah, that's what I just hit there. This was for the other campus, which was last week prior to Give for Good, but Give for Good was last week, and we raised over $10,000 for the scholarship fund. So thank you again. If you have any questions about it, don't ever hesitate to ask. You can get me email, call me. I'm not here as often as Aaron, but every once in a while. So any questions now? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go on.
Hello.
I'll get the hook and you keep going.
I'm actually going to be, I know Erin said she was going to be brief. I'm going to be incredibly brief. I have 3 updates, housekeeping items to talk about. Thank you all for being here this afternoon, and those that are viewing digitally, thank you for tuning in. We have, I know construction for the 100 Hall on Willow, or Dogwood Square, has been on everybody's mind. We do have a date. Right now we are projecting October the 1st for the start of construction. And for those of you who don't know, what we did with that is those rooms were previously personal care, and due to a need and increased need in the market, we have converted those to nursing facility rooms. And so we are having those are being retro to fit the regulations for nursing facility. We're having the doors widened, so we're going to see some refreshes over on that unit. That'll start October the 1st. That will likely be closed for 3 months. So we have some alternative routes that we're going to have people going in the facility. You'll see some maps that are going to be distributed. We've sent those to our families, and Erin has been helpful in creating all of those routes. So more to come on that. Another topic is the flu clinic. We have, as everyone knows, the flu shot is mandatory for us. And so that is something that we have on the horizon. We have a tentative date for a flu clinic. It is October the 18th. It is a Wednesday, so it will coincide with an employee meal. So that is something we are waiting on the confirmation from CVS Pharmacy, but tentatively October the 18th, please look for some flyers. We'll post that around and we'll send out messaging to everyone. The last thing is health streams. If you could please make a point to get into HealthStream, sign in, check it out, see what you have due, and please complete the health streams. We are trying to move in the right direction to get those completed. So thank you, and thank you for everything that you do.
Why don't you give the number of people that are living in the apartment?
Yes.
And that the expected time that some other folks might come over for a bit.
That is a great update. We also have, right now, so as many of you know, we have an independent living that is for retired priests. Right now we have 4 gentlemen that are residing in that area, and we are tentatively looking at the 2nd week of October to have some visitors come and stay short term. We're looking at a 3 to 4 week stay for some other priests that are in the community, and they are currently residing over on the other side of town at the Passionist Monastery, and they're having some elevator work done, and they're going to come stay with us while they're having that done, since they won't have access. There are 3 gentlemen that will be staying with us, and so mid-October, look for that. You'll have some new faces around the campus, and we're looking forward to that. See what it looks like to have more folks in that area, because we're hoping to grow that as well. Any other updates?
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. I'm Mary Haynes. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for being here. And thank you for everything you do all the time. You're what make it happen, right? You folks sitting in these chairs, it's your face that the people we serve see. It's your smiles, it's your conversations, it's everything you do says who we are. So thank you for that. I have up here the same value from our mission that I did when we were here 3 months ago, because to me, it's where the story really lies. Your cooperation, your kindness, your teamwork is really what turns the flywheel. And you have some really good statistics. I'm the numbers person. I watch what we do that's demonstrated in our metrics, and you are doing so great. We said that what we needed to do to be able to have thriving and across our organization is we needed to really keep those census numbers up. We needed to have a mindset that we are always moving, our front door and back door, real active, as well as all the hallways between. So thanks to Janine and thanks to everybody here, food, environment, every person helps keep that moving. This month, we've had our best numbers of the year. So thank you for that. I'm going to show you in a minute what you're doing related to having a full boat of team members. Great results. Why don't we go on to that in a little bit? So I want you to look at this. This is real improvement. In nursing, just take that for instance. In January, we had 22.5 open FTEs. From January to February, it worsened. We ended January with 27 open nursing positions. Now look, we ended August with 14 open nursing positions. That 14, I watch it every week. That 14 now is really 13, and then based on today, what happened?
Oh, I think we're down to almost 0.
Right. So to get in the single digits, y'all, to get in the single digits, it's awesome. And you've done that through being intentional, living into our mission, the friendliness, the helpfulness, the cooperation, and also a willingness to that other word that I had up there, which is upskilling. Every one of us, we have to constantly be tuned into the marketplace and changing our minds about what's required of us. Because the world out there, the plates spin fast, and we have to keep up. So we can't get married to how we did things yesterday. We have to be expectant and welcoming to what's going to be required of us tomorrow. So looking at those folks that are doing things well and figuring out what are they doing that maybe I need to figure out how to do better. So I do want to share with you some changes on the other campus that have impacted you. So some of you maybe have met Kim Hobson. Kim Hobson's been at Nazareth Home since 2002. She came as MDS coordinator, then she was assistant director of nursing, and she's been director of nursing now for a while. Ever since I've been at Clifton, I've wanted Kim to step up to be a director of nursing across. She's a very humble person, and so hats off and much gratitude to her that a few months ago she agreed to step up into that role. So I couldn't be more excited about that, yet at the same time it has set off a real chain reaction on the other campus. Although it's very positive, it is a change. So I'll share with you that Tiffany Terriaco, who's been at Nazareth Home 15 years, Tiffany was a nursing assistant, then she was a charge nurse on our long stay unit, then she went to be the unit manager on our charity court, which is memory support. She was there for 7 years. and now she's been assistant director of nursing for 5 years. So now she is the director. Laura Skaggs, who is our unit manager on recovery. Laura Skaggs was an LPN when I came to Nazareth Home. I've been there 22 years. She completed her RN. She was the unit manager on Spalding, which at that time was a 70-bed long-term care unit. We appealed to her to take the recovery to home unit to where she's been there for 8 years now. And she applied for the assistant director of nursing, so she is now in that role. That recovery to home manager, as you all know from living here, it's one of our most important roles because we have to keep moving, right? We have to have someone in that position who's like, bring them in, bring it on. We're gonna be great here. So the assistant unit manager, Megan Compton, who she just got her RN, Lou. She passed her boards.
She did it.
She did it. She did it. So for years, Megan has been completing her RN. Now she passed her boards, so she will be the unit manager on recovery to home. And Ashell Davis, who has been our weekend go-to guy, do it all around the house guy, is moving into that assistant unit manager. So we're thrilled about that. Another big change for us, the unit manager on our Maria Hall program, which is our personal care. She's now moved to director of medical records. And a nurse who was working afternoons for us on Spalding has moved into her spot. So a lot of new, come in. So I just want to say that there's so much opportunity under our 2 roofs. And even though I mentioned to you a lot of years of service, that's not really the requirement. The requirement for reaching your career goals, for advancement, it's really all about digging in and making a commitment. So it really doesn't matter if you've been here 6 months or 6 years. What makes for results in an organization are achievements and results and that willingness and open mind. So I just always say to people, you want to love what you do, dig in. You want to be happy at work, find a way to love it. You want to get along with people, find a way to do it. Because don't ever think that you can't make a difference, because it's only you that's making a difference. I know in this day and time, I hear so much about, oh, well, we can't get people to come to work. Nobody will do this, nobody will do that. Folks, that is simply not true. And these numbers show it's not true. And your results here show it's not true. So let's keep that mindset of being possibility people, of knowing we can make anything happen because you can.
I have a couple questions. I just want to ask 2 questions. I just have to get back to the floor because one of our CNAs is gone.
Okay.
So there's only 2 of us on the floors. First question I have is, are we gonna have like any security in the parking lot soon? Like maybe a camera or 2 since there's been break-ins?
We're actually making quotes right now for security cameras. So that's
For those of you all in video land, she asked, are we gonna get any security? Security is on everybody's mind all the time. I'm aware of that. We started on the other campus installing plenty of outdoor cameras. We're doing that here. There's a lot of activity everywhere,
Yeah,
right?
most definitely.
Everywhere. So the question then for somebody like us that have to make those decisions is, what can we do that's really going to impact? We know we can't prevent all the time. There's not enough people in the world to prevent. I was in a building yesterday for about 4 hours over in London. They're locking doors there. It's London.
Yeah.
Who would even think about that? So just know it is always on our mind, and this is kind of a first level of prevention. I will tell you that I, of course, get involved in every car at Nazareth Home, and to date, all the cars that have had things taken from them, the doors have been unlocked. So I don't know if that's your situation here, but I can tell you it is on the other campus. Every stinking one of them, the car's not locked. So as someone came up to me at lunch and said to me, pay attention to where you are, look around you, and be safe, I do want to say that to you, and lock your cars, and don't have inviting stuff sitting in there.
Yeah.
What's your other question?
My other question would be about the PTO and the points.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to talk to Erin before she leaves the campus today.
Okay.
Okay?
Alrighty.
Thank you.
Where can I find your office?
I'm gonna be in the what is that called? Receptionist area, because we're doing a job there, so I'll be up there until 3 o'clock.
Okay, so I'll see you
Yeah.
around there. Alright,
Perfect.
thank you.
Thanks.
Guys.
Thanks for coming. I want to tell you about an innovation we're exploring on the other campus. It's called a smart toilet. Has anybody heard about the smart toilet? Well, I know a couple people have. So, we are on the cusp of having so many new things. I don't mean just we as Nazareth Home. I'm talking about all of us as citizens of the world. And in the healthcare space, a lot of the reason we don't have it is nobody's figured out how to pay for it through the Medicare and Medicaid program. So I believe it's very important for our sustainability. Just like I said, keep that open mind, keep looking out there further, look at what's new, grab it, try it, don't get married to the past. That's what we do in the care environment. So just like this shift to PayCor, we're looking for things that do two things. I want to make your life easier. Only when I make your life easier can you make the elder and family life easier. So that's the two main stakeholders, right, that have to be forever on all of our minds. How do I make it easier? So smart toilet, I saw out in California a few years ago. It's just a device that sits on top of the toilet. It's got a little tube that runs into the bowl, and through kind of microwaves is the best way that I can explain this. It captures that biological information. So when you urinate or when you have your stool, it's going to be able to tell us, is something in there that shouldn't be? Is there too little? Too much? What's the routine? So we piloted this in our memory support area. And think about this. You have a memory problem. So when that's going on with me, I'm not exactly the most able to interpret what you're asking me. And I would just say to you all, have you ever had to complete a urinalysis? Probably yes. So imagine you have a memory diminishment, and not only do you have to figure out how to do that, but you have to coordinate that with the person that's trying to support you, and it's open season for miscommunication, right? We're in the business of well-being. We're in the business of peace of mind. So we have to always be thinking about that person, the elder, the patient, the family member, on what I'm asking them to do and how easy is it? Is it dignified? Is it personalized? What's the vibe? So the smart toilet is completely invisible, dignified, and it doesn't get in anybody's business, right? It's a win. It's a win. What I'm hoping to do ultimately is all this stuff we do on bowel and bladder, trying to, for 72 hours, figure out when everybody, I want to, okay, something's going to do away with that, right? We must, every one of us, be 100% invested in making the life of the CNAs around here easier. We got to make everybody's life easier. But at the end of the day, the easiest on the person, on that elder. So we're having great results. We're using less med. We're doing fewer urine specimens. We're not doing as many catheters. We've really reduced the number of enemas. So even if it's one of those, it's a win. So we're getting ready to expand that on the other campus, and I wanted you to know that's what we're up to. Melissa and I, because of these great stories, we've been trying to figure out how can we be better storytellers. Who do we need to get some thought leadership from that would help us be a better communicator to our public? So we've been working with a new agency. You'll be hearing more about that, but I just want to let you know, if you see that as a deficit, so do we. And we're trying to fill in that gap. And the last thing that's on my list to share with you is to talk a little bit about our Medicare and Medicaid annual survey. So when do some of you that have been here for a while, when do you think we had our last survey?
3 years ago.
Yes, sir, you're exactly right. 2019. Now, how often are we supposed to have them?
Every year.
Right, annually. And the length of time that the government's supposed to go between their ending and the next one is 18 months. So that's not only us. Here in Kentucky, unfortunately, we are the 4th worst state right now in being behind. All the states are behind, but we are really behind. And so CMS is not happy with the state of Kentucky because of that. And you've probably heard that at least 2 nursing centers here in Louisville have closed in the last 6 months, and there's a few more on the ropes. So the things that are going on in these surveys are pretty unpleasant. Here's one big area, and that is in the area of complaints. Now, we in our history have not had a lot of complaints, but I want you to think about that there can always be complaints that we're not aware of, because families have called into the state agency and complained, and they just haven't been out to investigate it. So what's happening on these surveys is there's like 20, 30, 40 complaints, and they go back 3 years, right? So the survey process, as we know it, is very defined, and it's straight off of the MDS. And based on our MDS metrics, the survey team picks a sample from that. They come in, they look at the sample, and that's really all they're supposed to be doing. They like it that way, we like it that way. Unfortunately, now they're coming in, they've got the sample, but they have 20, 30, 40 complaints that involve all sorts of individuals not in the sample. So it's increasingly burdensome both for the surveyor and for the staff here because of the number of record reviews that now wind up in that process. So I want to manage expectations by this conversation. I just want to share with you that we have always been really good at surveys. Since I've been here at Nazareth Home Clifton, we've had at least 3 that were deficiency free. The others have been just minor tags. It's always been very smooth. I just want to say to you, it's likely to not be smooth. It's likely to be very intensive, and it's likely to be more than 3 days because it takes the team a long time to process the work they have to do. Also, I'm hearing a lot of people say, well, why are they here? It's like 9 o'clock at night. Why didn't they go home? Because they're trying to clear these investigations. So during COVID, my friends, when the families were locked out, they were busy on the phone calling in things that they thought we weren't doing that they wanted somebody to check out. So that checking out, unfortunately, is going on now, and we have to buck up to it. So I just want to say, don't be nervous, don't be worried, don't think the sky is falling in when we're having to deal with this survey, because it's going to be different, and it's going to be very labor intensive, and it'll be all hands on deck, and we need to be smiling all the time. We're gritting our teeth. As one of my mentors told me, bite your tongue until the blood drips down your shirt. And I mastered that, believe it or not, and we all have to. So that's the tone that we need to take when this happens. Our numbers are great. Our metrics are great. I'm not telling you this because I'm worried. I'm telling you this to prepare you and to get, guess what? Cooperation among us all. We're in it together. We'll master it. Just be advised. That's the deal. So, this lady had some questions of me.
You want to hit anything else on your
I
slides?
do. There is something else. I'm done with that.
Yep. Let's hit this real quick.
Here's what I'm going to tell you. CMS has come out with some staffing standards. That's still in the comment period. I'm not really sure what's going to happen with those staffing standards. I would just tell you, we are currently performing way above our marketplace. 71% of the nation's nursing centers do not meet these staffing standards. 71%. And the government, God bless them, did it anyway. So I don't know where all this is going to land, but just know we are performing ahead of the benchmark. Ashley and I just reviewed our current PBJ up against this. We're a fraction below, not a big deal, because there's 365 days in a year, y'all. So don't worry about it. We'll get it. I'm not worried, but it's out there, and it will be another layer for the surveyors. And then we're going to go on to the very good news.
Yay.
So we asked you, maybe that's not the word, maybe we begged you to participate in the Courier Journal survey that would say to the world we are a top workplace. And so due to your cooperation, due to your taking the survey, due to everything you do all day long, we're in. So congratulations to you. And I think it's like the 11th of October
11th, it will be
that
made
the
public.
Courier Journal will start pushing this out. So parties to come. But thank you all. Any question of me? All righty, great. Thank you. Yeah, you can clap. Clapping is good.